So why would she be skeptical if you're listening to this for the first time, or if you're an old coaching student looking to revitalize your business, because there is quite a few of you out there. 36 marketing pieces should get you 3 to 5 face-to-face appointments. What do we mean? You make a list of people that are in default. That is public information. You put out 36 marketing pieces once or twice a week. That should generate 3 to 5 face-to-face appointments for every 36 marketing pieces you put out. You build the relationship, you get the relationship. Ariel, if you would, I would like to know how many appointments it took for you to actually, yeah, I know, I always get that wrong, Ariel. Ariel is a he. I'm sorry, Ariel. And it's not the first time that's happened. That's multiple times. Terrible. Ariel. 40 tags, 10 declines, 4 appointments. Oh, that's Pete. Sorry. Ariel, I'm reading Pete's email text. How many appointments did it take to get the listing? That's really the big question. I mean, I say this, I'm in the business of getting people face to face, but really ultimately, David and I know the truth. We're in the business of getting people listings. I mean, that's the reality of these calls. I mean, nobody, and I'll say this because I'm recording, nobody in the business guarantees face-to-face. We do. I, at some points, have gone so far as to say I can guarantee a listing, but the amount of follow-up and dedication that's required, most people aren't willing to do. But if you are diligent, you will always get them. So if you'd write that in, Ariel, I'd like to know. Doug Ranger, I have met with a total of 8 people to get my first listing. Better than door knocking, certainly. How many appointments did it take to get the listing is what I really want to know. So you met with the homeowner, how many appointments, or was it right on the spot? For those of you who don't know, on the spot, don't you like those, David, where they're just ready to go? So yeah. David and I have talked about this.
I don't know because I haven't had that happen to me yet.
Oh, really? We've had it happen where they've exhausted themselves and they're opening up a phone. Kevin, who does our appointments, said that the client said he was opening up the phone book to find a real estate agent. And it's funny that we showed up on the door. Yeah. It should happen. I mean, most of them aren't in that position right now, and it's going to go to a lot of the basic questions right now. It seems like people are getting blindly approved for loan mods without much effort being put in, and a lot of sale dates are getting cleared really fast, at least in our area, David. I'll get back to the questions in a minute. We've been experiencing people getting cleared out quickly. Now, you and I both know the truth. People who don't pay are not going to pay even if you give them a loan mod. But my general impression from the last couple of weeks of monstering, about 3 weeks, a good portion of the people that are submitting and being somewhat diligent to get their paperwork in on some level are just getting blindly approved. And I wonder, as a former asset manager, David, that perhaps they see the writing on the wall and they're just starting to do spreader theory all over again. I wouldn't say that we're definitely going to go into a long declining period, but if I'm a bank guy sitting in a meeting and I see that the values are going down, I'm using OFIO data or whatever technical gadgetry are at my disposal, and I see a little bit of a dip nationally because you have to work nationally at a bank, I could see an executive saying, approve everything, like put everybody into a loan mod immediately. Don't negotiate. Don't pick and choose. I haven't seen the foreclosure numbers, and they won't come out till next quarter. But how have your appointments been for you over on that side of town?
The appointments are going fine. People are talking to us. People are receptive. People, listen, everything works the same, And I think that what's happening is that we're seeing. I can tell you my short sale pipeline that is up 25, 30% in the last month. So we're seeing an increase in activity. We're seeing greater willingness for people to do that. And if the market is actually topped out like it seems to have done, at least temporarily, and we're going to see some downward pressure on prices. You're going to see whatever last, string of hope that people had that the market was going to go up and they were going to somehow be able to turn it around as a result of increased market values. That's the last hope that they have. And if the market starts to go down, the press and people got nothing left to fight for. So they're fighting to save their life savings, which is tied up in the walls of their house. That they got nothing to fight for. Values start going down.
Ariel went on. He was trying to explain the loan mod process, and they were asking selling home questions, so he quickly changed gears. I was trying to take the "I'm here to help you keep your home" approach, and wasn't expecting the "I'm ready to list on day one." It happens. It really
that's the right thing to do. By the way, that's exactly the right thing to do, is then make them bring it up. And if you're going to talk about it, said, well, listen, I'm not here to do it, but if you think you're ready to move on, then what we should do, then we can talk about a strategy that allows you to have some control over how we get your transition out of this house and into a new one. The question is, do you want to move fast? Or do you want to drag this out and get as much time in your house as is possible? You still come at it from an advocate perspective, versus, let's sell it and get paid. What's best for you still? So we can drag it out, or we can just get it done and see how much cash we can get you. But you're still focusing on what's best for them.
I'm going to tie in two questions with a response from Pete Sanchez. He put out 40 tags, got 10 declines, and 4 appointments. Perfect. You're right in the pocket. 10% on 40 tags is right where you want to be. The reason I bring up the 10 declines is to go to a different question from Ariel. Who would you recommend for third-party email, marketing service, or monthly newsletters, etc.? I'm a huge believer, because I have a foreclosure list of people that we have tagged that I still send emails to, and I use Constant Contact at the moment. They're just as good as MailChimp or anybody. I'm trying out somebody brand new called GetResponse, because I think they have better autoresponders. I'm also fond of a company called Mad Mimi out of England. But if you're looking for someone to physically do email for you, Ariel, send me an email and I'll let you know. It's very hard to find people to send out emails and run your list for you effectively. I do it for people, but I'm super aggressive at sending out emails. The reason I bring all that up, I want to go back to the declines. I don't mind the 10 declines. I want their email. I want their phone number. David, how important is it to keep track of even people who've declined?
It's important. We actually have a process for that too, where we call them and we try to give them a message to try to re-engage them. But I don't worry too much about that. I might still tag them later, a second or third time.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't know what the right thing to do. What's the worst thing that'll happen if you follow up with them again in a month?
Right.
They'll won't call, or they'll decline again. So what? Right now I don't get responses on 80% of the tags we do, and I do it anyway because I'm focused on the 20% that do respond and the 75% of those that schedule an appointment.
Doug Ranger wrote in, he tagged a home yesterday and received a response from the call center from someone who was not the homeowner. He wrote back and said he could only deliver to the homeowner. We talked about this last week. I'll put it into perspective for non-monster marketing users. So you're putting a marketing piece on the property that generates a response. That response goes to a call center. The call center reads a script. The script is designed to get me face-to-face with the homeowner to have a discussion about their loan mod and alternative to foreclosure. There you go. Go watch the video, thelistingmonster.com. There's a shameless plug. Now, this has happened. It's happened to me. It's happened to David. It's happened to many people, and we'll get your feedback on it. What do you do? There are two situations. One, the spouse has got the house in default and the other spouse doesn't know, but the other spouse who didn't know is the one who invited you over for the conversation. Or worse, it's a rental, David. And now that person wants to have you, and you show up and they go, "Oh, I'm a renter. What's this all about?" Would you like to give a little feedback?
Well, the way that we would do that is that well, first of all, renters generally don't make appointments. I guess it could happen once in a while because the message is saying calling about your loan modification.
Right.
And renters aren't having to do with a loan modification, generally speaking. So what we do is we treat it, we ask them, well, how do we just ask the renter, how do we contact the owner? This is something we need to talk with them. How do we do that? And ask them for their contact information. They'll have it. And if not, then we use a service like Intellius to go back or just title. And we figure out what we can figure out what the owner's name is. We can figure at a minimum, see if their mailing address is different than that address. And we can make an attempt to reach them that way. And you can use Intellius to generally get phone numbers that may or may not be good, but and emails, which you can also attempt to call. I like using slide dial to do ringless voicemail into those messages. And then I send the same email address to every known email that I can find and just see if it's a shotgun and see if I can connect. But basically, we tell them that they have liability and that they may be eligible to receive $10,000 or more in exchange for their cooperation. And we just kind of bait them to see where we can get them.
Daniel Rodriguez writes, joined as a member in December, but got busy. Started again 2 weeks ago. Did 60 drops, got 6 face-to-face appointments, and have a closing this Friday. Nice job. And have 2 more leads. Excellent job, Daniel. Ray, new to Monster. Is there a Facebook group for questions? There is. All you have to do is type in LeeHonish Monster Coaching Group. I'll get a notification. I'll add you to the group. Simple as that. It is an extra added value. David and I monitor it as well as a couple of other people, so it's really good to keep an eye out for that. We also have a credit person who kind of hovers around, so if you have a credit question. Ray also writes, does anybody ever put out more than 36? Yes, people put out more than 36 per week. I will, on most occasions, probably put out 36 twice a week to generate 3 to 5 twice a week, but it's based on the person I have who can go to the front door, Ray. So understand, this is my experience. David and I have talked about this a million times, okay? If you put out multiple tags, you're going to get more appointments. The problem, my experience, you will start to qualify appointments, which means you're only going to look for home runs, and you will forget that everybody you meet with face-to-face, no matter what they say to you, 8 out of 10 times will stop making payments, and they're going to lose their house. That's just 80% is a standard number after 3 missed payments. People just don't pay. I don't care if they get a loan mod. I don't care if they get a forbearance agreement. 8 out of 10 historically are going to sell either on their own or with the help of the bank once they go into default. It's just how long they stretch out the process. So from an experience standpoint, people tend to qualify appointments looking for people who are just in a position to sell right now. And you are literally burning through leads that way. Richard Galloway, to your point on more loan mods being approved, had a situation recently where a fully disabled, very low income homeowner short sale appointment app was put on hold while the servicer ran through a loan mod process. They said the CFPB regs required this. That's bull. They approved her for a trial mod with a ridiculous monthly payment that was 2/3 of her very low gross monthly income. She's not going to pay anyway, Richard. So it's all made up. I like it when bank people make up stuff. I'll say this. Nobody ever likes this answer. You make up stuff at the bank. My boss has got to approve it. I got to go by these guidelines, blah, 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 blah. It's all horse crap. I know nobody believes that, but it's 100% horse crap. This is a good question, Daniel. If you hire someone to do the tags, what do you tell them to tell anyone if someone meets them at the door? All right, so there's 2 questions here. Hiring people at the door. David, give your little spiel on hiring people to go put up tags.
Well, I'm careful about that because I've done that, and my results have always fallen when I've done